Big air show. Big air show.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I went to one of those air shows, maybe the last one I had. And the next day, you hear, started flying lessons. So good it works.
I think the last one was either 92 or 93. Yeah. Shut up.
Oh, yeah.
She said that was before she was born.
EMT.
She got me
Four,
feel a
five,
little
nine.
old.
All right.
All right, it is 5 o'clock, so I will go ahead and call the meeting to order. If you would take a look at the minutes, if there are any changes, let Adam know.
Make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
All right, we
Second.
have a motion to accept. We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I pass.
Okay. All right, moving forward with discussion items. First on the agenda is discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding airport financials. Adam?
Yes, ma'am. So in your packet, you'll have your typical profit and loss statement. To go over some of the keynotes here. FBO fuel sales, we're looking at $150,420.09. Total income after the fees, concessions, rental, and a new line item, 416 ground lease revenue, which is basically coding properly the earnest money payment. The first go round, I would say that we didn't do that as well as we should. Now you'll be able to see that monthly from Strategy. It's $2,083.33. That'll hit the profit loss statement at a monthly rate for a 24-month period, which is a construction period. That total income, including all of those things, is $195,831.61. Cost of goods sold, we're looking at $91,336.34. Gross profit coming out to $104,495.25. Going into the expenses, you'll see the breakdown there of several different items, leading us all the way to our total expenses, which is $58,593.57 on page 2. Net operating income brings us to $45,901.70. I do want to note here that our year to date through the period of April 30th, which is this statement here, our net operating income, we had budgeted for $138,000. We are currently at $144,722.97, which means that we're a little more than 104% of what we expected to make. We're just now getting into the flying season. So obviously some expenses will continue to incur, but for the most part, we are doing exceptionally well. Total other income, which is a breakdown of interest payment, which I do want to mention something here before I continue going. 408 interest. We've been seeing this 1,200, 1,300 plus, and right now it's $873.99. Our money market account is basically so much of the Fed basis points, and I have done some barking recently as our interest rate has plummeted a little bit. I have done some fact finding. I believe that what is beneficial for us is in the next couple of months, you may see a recommendation for me to close our regions account, which is just charging us fees. The only reason why we kept it open is because that's currently where ALDOT is sending our grants. However, if we can get that swap, which we've made 2 attempts already, we're going to make a third one this week to get that swapped over. Moving to a bank that's got a fixed rate there on the money market, I've been told that some are still over 3%. Obviously, we need to capitalize on that, as that's free money coming in there. We don't want to see that continue to go down. Moving on from there, grant, ALDOT Aviation, you'll see 127,695. That's FA ALDOT grant for Southeast Taxiway. Air show tickets, we woke up one day at an event and decided to sell some tickets for Mr. Sam Heflin in Prosville, a token to his 50th city celebration. And we sold 30 something 33 tickets, I believe it was. So it's $391. Air show sponsorship income, 600. Total other income, $129,559.99. Other expenses. So we had some air show expense, 3,475. Airport improvement program, 14,170. And that leaves us with our net income, $157,816.17. Moving on to the balance sheet. Bank accounts for the end of the period, $702,679.39. Accounts receivable for the period ending 5,800. Line item 125, inventory assets, we had $68,747.17 worth of fuel on hand at the end of the period, which brings our total current assets to $841,000. Our fixed assets, you can see a list there of all the different things that we've had. Total fixed assets, I believe it's the same number as last time, $14,528,414.90. On the back of the page, one other thing that's noteworthy, again, we're on net 30 terms with Titan Fuel. So you'll see accounts payable, $63,574.55. This is for the fuel purchased in the month of April. Total liabilities and equity, $15,372,363.69. I'll stand for any questions.
Question, Brad? All right, we have a motion to accept.
I move to accept the financials as presented.
All right, we have a motion to accept. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, moving on to discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding airport projects. Adam?
Yes, ma'am. So airport projects, I want to go through several. The Northwest Taxiway, we do have a project on the street for phase 2, which is some of the grants that we talked about at the beginning of the year. Give a little high level there is $775,000 of FAA funds, and then we have an opportunity for a 50-50 with ALDOT up to 300 and just shy of 350,000 as a fallback to make sure we can do a little bit of more of that apron, that cargo apron that we've designed. That project is currently trucking along there. We have been working with the previous contractor to come up with a solution to fix some of the deficiencies pointed out by ALDOT. So more to come on that as things progress there. The Sokolov hangar next to Summer Air Hangar by Mr. Miner's hangar is progressing very well. Friday, they'll be pouring the slab. And moving forward with that project, they'll be erecting the seal after everything cures as far as the concrete goes. The Southeast Taxiway is looking exceptionally well. They did a very great job on that project. Abramson did, and they finished with striping. They are basically waiting for seed to grow, meeting some elevation on the side of that concrete, doing some additional work there to make sure they pass ALDOT's inspection. But for the most part, that job is complete. Matter of fact, today I received a letter that they are seeking substantial completion walkthrough. So more to come on that as we end that project. Also today, in that same area, Strategies engineering team was on site doing survey to finish up their design. Mr. John Jones at our open house event stressed to me that I would be receiving some plans very soon. So looking forward to that project. There was a big push at the state level for some pavement maintenance projects. I did the song and dance with GMC over getting some prices there with it. So we recently got those back. I'm going to be crunching some numbers and making some recommendations there. in the near future. But this would be to do a crack seal coat on our current apron at the terminal, and possibly on the runway as well. Ballpark figure is somewhere between 550, 600,000, once the engineering fees and all the other stuff is factored in. That's again the engineer's estimate on all of that. Not sure if it's in the cards for us now, but I wanted to play the exercise because obviously Aldot was seeking projects. We had our recent seal coat project, I believe it was in 2018-19. So that useful life is coming up right now in it's 5 years essentially. So it's coming up on that and is due. So more to come on that. That is all I have for airport projects outside of, I'll just mention through our airport maintenance line item in the budget. I've been doing a lot of cleanup around the airport. So you'll notice flower beds getting makeovers. You'll see a lot of little bitty projects going there to make sure that we are keeping up with the impression that we give to folks coming and going. So in the parking lot, we had a lot of dead holly bushes, as I call them, and the curbs there. So we've ripped all those up. We rented the equipment. We did all the work in-house with our own labor, because we weren't paying 15 grand to have someone come and do that for us. So we did it ourselves. So there'll be some more of those coming as the budget matures and we see where we are. But we'll just make sure that we're serving North Alabama well by making a great impression. I know this is something that Mr. Minor and I have talked about. He's not here tonight, but we've talked about some of these projects in the past, and can't wait for him to see some of them. So that's all I have.
What about the issue with I think it's up here on this taxiway?
Mhm.
For
The concrete issue.
the concrete issue, yeah.
Yeah, so we're working with Aldot on that, and we'll have some more answers soon. But we proposed some solutions, and we're waiting to hear back from the contractor.
Okay, work in progress.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions for Adam? All right, moving on to discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding resolutions for city and county appropriations.
Yes, ma'am. So tonight I'm seeking approval from you all to move forward with asking for appropriations from the 4 entities, the 2 cities and 2 counties, Morgan County, Limestone County, City of Decatur, City of Athens. This is just typical annual request. We will, as usual, ask for all of them to be at the Morgan County level, which is what we did last year of 40,000. Just to recap, we received 30,000 from Athens, 30,000 from Limestone County, 40,000 from Morgan County, and then we received, I believe it was 20,000 from the City of Decatur for the first time. And as far as the documentation that I have on hand, that's the first time that they have moved from 30,000. So I will be requesting 40,000 from all of them, which is basically a plea for them to match one of the other sponsors, Morgan County. I'll stand for any questions.
Any reason not to go higher?
I've been informed that it will not happen.
But I know, but still, any reason not to ask for more?
I personally feel that 40,000 is something that could be obtainable by keeping that reputation, that
I guess.
steady request.
Yeah, and I understand, I guess the reason why I'm asking it this way is we're generating a lot more revenue for these 4 entities. Maybe it's time we start presenting to them that, hey, we're generating more. So the more you put into us, the more we're going to generate for you.
I've been informed by the 4 entities that the best for that is to come with projects, which they did support the sewer project at 119,000 each. And I do think that we'll have some other projects where they can come to the table. More specifically, some of the pop-up projects that we have. I think that there's some room there for them to come to the table.
Okay.
The Limestone County certainly has stepped up.
They have, they stepped up definitely with helping us secure the grant from the access road, which that project, I completely failed to mention, that project hasn't started yet, but is planning to start this month. So sorry about that. But they have definitely helped in that regard, for sure.
Any other questions? All right, do we have any motions?
To approve the report.
No, he's looking for an approval or a resolution.
Oh, okay, you want to, I so move.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second. This is at 40.
All right, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Moving on to reports, Adam, Airport Director's report.
Yes, ma'am. I'll try to go through this briefly here. Jet A for the month of April, we sold 27,810.1 gallons of Jet A. Comparing that to April 24, where we sold 39,092.5 gallons. I do want to mention that that was the biggest outlier for the year last year. The reason being is because we have the special forces here with two aircraft, the Chinook and the Black Hawk. We do have some scheduled in the queue to come use our facility in the near future. So maybe the outlier may be the month of May and June of this year. Month prior, we sold 32,623.9 gallons. Our year to date, this year's 150,109 gallons. Previous year to date, 172. So we're slowly gaining that, or we were. The little setback was obviously the month of April, but I believe that by midsummer we'll be caught up and surpassing our previous year to date. 100 low lead, 4,229 gallons, comparing that to April 24 at 4,689 gallons. We really need to get GA in the air. Month prior, 3,863.05 gallons. Year to date, 25,695 gallons. Previous year to date, 28,400 gallons. So we're still behind there. Again, we were closed for an entire month in November, so that's the reason why we're falling behind. But I do believe that we'll surpass it. Operations by the numbers. Our fees for the month of April, $18,274.42. This is for our transient folks, not our base tenants. Rent, $24,960. I do want to note that with next month, a lot of new leases, a new swap. We have welcomed a new company in one of our hangars out of Huntsville, helicopter. They operate a A-Star and a Lakota helicopter. They'll be doing some lease there. Our partner Air Evac has moved to a square footage lease in the corporate hangar versus per aircraft, because they are looking at a larger helicopter and they are leasing an office in the southern corporate hangar. So with all of that, plus the monthly allocations for the prepayment for FT-Air, we have increased our monthly rent 16,000 and some change starting June 1st. So that is definitely an accomplishment. Concessions for the period, $93.77. Gross profit margin on our fuel is 39% for the period. Vertile report, give a breakdown of some of the aircraft. I apologize for the noise. Single engine operations for the period, 1,359, single engine turbine 63, multi-engine 45, multi-engine turbine 50, business jet, which is what you hear behind me, 134 operations. Jet 2, as categorized in Vertower, is usually DC-9, MD-80, or 7-3. In this case, it was 7-3. We had 2 of those operations. Helicopters, which we don't pick up a lot of them, especially Air Evac, because they don't do standard patterns to hit the geofencing, but we had 29 operations. Military 2, military helicopter 2, light sport aircraft 2, for a total of 1,689 operations for the period. Again, 7-3-400 series, we had 2. Some of the larger jets, noteworthy. All the Citation series usually takes the the majority of those higher operations. One of the things I do want to mention, Gulfstream 280, we had 12 of those in the month of April, 12 coming in. That is mainly Wayne Sanderson Farms. They have been coming in substantially more than previous periods. So very proud of that. Looking forward to doing a lot more business with them and trying to get more fuel sales out of them. They have been buying fuel, I believe 9 out of 10 times that they've come in recently, where in the past they'd never bought fuel. So one of the members of Wayne Sanderson Farms also sits on the board for CAA. I had a conversation with them, and because of that, they've now started buying fuel. For some reason, they weren't aware that we were CA. So now that's changed. So that's all I have as far as the Vertile report. Public involvement. We hosted an open house to welcome folks outside of the fence and inside the fence to the terminal. There's a lot of our tenants that never come up here, that we never engage with. There's some tenants that we never engage with, period, because they're not flying. They're just paying a rent, have a card on file, or sending a check. So we wanted to have the open house to get some of those folks out, pumping out that. We had somewhere between 65 and 75 people attend. We want to have more events like that. Maybe have food truck Fridays, fly-ins on Saturdays. I do know that certain Saturdays are better than others. There's going to be a questionnaire that I send out either tonight or tomorrow to our tenants. We didn't have as many tenants show up, which I know there's a major accident in Huntsville. So a lot of traffic issues the day that we had the open house. But we want to make sure that the tenants will support these future little events like this. So expect that from me, and please fill out that little survey. I think it's 3 to 4 questions. It'll take about 2 minutes. During the previous month, we had a lot of activities. Had Dale Strong congressional update just the other day. Got to talk to him for a few minutes about some of our projects with Calhoun, some of the other needs at the airport, and again, thanked him for his support of the Southeast Taxiway. Not only was I talking about the airport, but I walked up and there were other people talking about the airport, which was, music to my ears. I heard Bethany Shockney talking to the field rep about some of the activities going out here and some of the jobs and growth, and proud of them sharing our message. I met with Calhoun president, the new instructor for the A&P program, and a few others from Calhoun with all the major companies in Huntsville. We had a meeting to discuss them supporting the program. We had a meeting to also discuss just the trajectory of the program and what all that means. We had a great turnout. We had a room full. So that's good news for us and for Calhoun and for all of North Alabama, because obviously the Calhoun A&P program will support all those major companies. They are looking at the first cohort starting in the ARCO hangar this August. It will be students from Limestone County CTE program. I think it's going to be around 25 students. They're still working to get their Part 147 certs done. I've offered my assistance there, and I know that they're just working through it. It's just the process of checking all the boxes at this point in time. I mentioned this previously. We are going to be hosting a private event out here. I do think there's opportunity for more events at the airport, which is just more revenue for a unique venue. We're hosting a private event in June. Can't go into much detail. There's some NDAs there, but they're going to be using our space for some folks here, and looking forward to that event. We're also looking forward to the month of June as our month to host an intern from Decatur City School Foundation through the launch program. We did that last year, and looking forward to having another student. It's a gentleman that wants to become an aeronautical engineer. So we'll introduce him appropriately there for sure. North Alabama Air Fest, not much to report. We have added a new aircraft. I'm not sure if I mentioned that. A gentleman that's used to fly fighters in the air show world. He is added to the circuit now, flying a small biplane. We've also added another partner to the air show, Slim Chickens. They have signed an exclusivity agreement for fried chicken at $3,000, which brings our total funds raised or commitments, I should say, at $226,913.33, which is 197.3% of our projected budget. Again, tremendous support from all the folks. We are kicking off ticket sales June 1st. So we're going to be doing a lot of campaigning in the next month. The committee meets tomorrow to finalize some of those items as far as tickets, last minute advertising and things that we need to do to set all that up to go live. New developments, ACA lobbyist, sit on that board, executive board member. They have really paid off funding that was supported both sides of the state, 15 million. That's the most in ALDOT history. ACA tag, I've mentioned this. This was a pet project of mine through ACA. Elevated Design Co. My wife designed that, as mentioned. That was approved this previous month, and it will go live June 1st. Of all the tags that were approved, and it was a tremendous amount of them, this one received the most accolades of any of them there. Some of them that were mentioned was actually the Saturn rocket for the U.S. Space and Rocket Center. I was surprised to see them in the room. They reported that they have over 7,500 of those tags on the street. So what does that mean for ACA? I was hoping to get 2,500, which was 6 figures in funding for Calhoun's A&P program, Athens State's management program, and Auburn's flight program, and other ones in the state, right? We have 4 scholarships right now. If we were to get, over 7,000, you're talking, just shy of $500,000 in funding for events and scholarships in the state of Alabama. So that's going to be great for what we have going up here in North Alabama. So I'll be that champion. We are looking at capitalizing on another position to help out with the air show. Want to mention that here, events and marketing position to help with some of the trade shows that we've got to go to. Obviously, I'm one person. It's hard for me to be at all of them. So that position is going live. We have met recently with potential companies, and I'm hoping that there'll be a few others come up here in the near future. So more to come on all that. Just know that people are coming in the door. They have been given tours and all the other things. I mentioned the flower beds and other things. I just want to note that obviously with all the rain, I have heard comments about some of the grass coming up through the cracks. Just know that it's being taken care of, but I didn't know whether to spray the weeds or build an arc at this point in time with all the rain that we've gotten. So I will be handling that in the near future. Last thing I want to mention in my report, we have assumed the North Alabama Aviation hangar. We have started work on that Monday of this week. We're doing some renovations, getting ready for our new tenant, FT Air. They're going to be moving in that facility as soon as possible to vacate the Arco hangar so that Calhoun can move in that hangar. So with all that being said, there's going to be a lot of contractors down there flipping that facility, painting, doing some renovations in the office space to accommodate male, female, from bathrooms. There's a lot of different things we're going to be doing there. Again, you all approved me for the 50,000. So we'll be trying to get a budget together in the next week or so to move forward with some of the heavy hitting items of that renovation. That is all I have for my director's report. I'll stand for any questions.
Brad?
Good report.
Miracle. All right. Moving on to public comments. Any public comments?
Curious about, you talked about community involvement with young scouts. Can you tell us a little bit more about how that works?
So community involvement, we do a lot from my office. So we do tours. We do what specifically I mentioned tonight was trying to get more participation from the flying community for like fly-ins and other things like that. But but to your question specifically, we welcome anybody. Just get on my calendar and we'll do tours. I can tailor it from, basically careers in aviation to, A is for airplane for the young kids. I think last year I had around 550 eighth graders out here. And high schoolers, I can't have the exact number, but we do it a lot. The next one, Air Evac Suzanne, we're going to be bringing, I think it's a group of homeschool students out here to do a group with the helicopter and with us. So we really just tailor it. So if there's someone, for instance, some sort of Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts that want to come out, definitely. I've even designed and made patches, and so they come out here and get an aviation patch for their sash and stuff. We can do all that. Yep, just building awareness to the industry.
It's gonna be on June 10th at 5. Do we have any motions to adjourn?
I move.
Okay, motion to adjourn. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Record time, 5:30.
Let that be noted.
My watch is a little slow. I had 5:28. Thank y'all.
That fancy watch you got needs to be updated, huh?
Yes.
See.
Most of the air.
All right, I'm gonna start signing these and hand these to you. How about that?
Oh, sign in emboss, right?
Yes.
Pretty good with the oil. People for the show.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, we got
I usually get.
There we go.
My signing pen out here.
Yeah, I should.
The cheapest, it's the cheapest
Since
routine.
we're not doing that, I'm gonna ask you this question. How, who helps you, who helps you in to be in that board? Like, who
I
is
usually.
your entity? I mean, you don't have an entity, I know that, but who's responsible for that?
So
Adam, or is that?
no, you're talking about
Yes.
his at-large
Yes.
membership? It's all four entities.
So you just have to.
They all call each other. They all approve it.
We have,
Oh, it is.
Yeah, they appoint one at-large member and all four of them.
Yeah.
Discuss it and then.
Basically endorse.
Mhm.
no, we'll have it.
Okay, now, all I'm doing, I'm not signing anything.
I just wanted to talk, have a conversation.
You're just,
I'm just endorsing.
Yeah,
you're just doing a little,
it's empowering him to do the.
Yeah, I got that. I just,
Yeah.